Gerg the bird handler.
Oh God.
Contrary to popular belief, this stream is not to come watch him and I make out on stream.
Damn
This
it.
is actually
There were two options. There's a 50-50 chance, man.
this is actually gonna be the PMALCS rulebook update meeting stream thing. I don't really know what to call it, but that's fine. So basically what we're going to do here, Greg and I are going to go over pretty much the rules and all the changes that happened. Kind of go in depth on some of them, give you guys just a heads up on why some of these changes were made, because I know not everybody in the league was in the Slack chat, because some people aren't as concerned with the inner workings of the league as some of us. It'll give you guys a chance also to ask any questions, so if ever anything, if you see a sentence that sounds weird, if you hear a change and you're just unsure about how that's going to work or whatever, just pop that question in Twitch chat and Greg and I can answer from there. And it sounds like we are joined by somebody, and oh God.
Oh no. Did he not read Slack chat? It specifically said anyone can come except Menbong. You are breaking the rules.
But then you said he can come because you need the.
Are you? You're in your car right now, aren't you?
No.
It's Menbong. And that's your intro. Anyway, so I'm gonna. So
Wait,
I'm gonna.
Are we streaming?
Yes.
Oh.
Hey, he's in now though.
Okay.
This is how like 90% of Menbong streams start anyway.
Right, pretty much. I'm in my car. I'll be there soon. Then I'll queue up. I'm gonna generally let Greg roll with this since this is still kind of his baby, and I'm gonna let him kind of lead the discussion. But
yeah, dude, that's fine.
I'll be here to bounce off back and forth. So take it away.
All right, so the first thing is obviously the objective is new. It just basically says who we are, what we do. It's just an overview of our organization. Pretty simple. Oh yeah, this was written up by Roberto Rodriguez, by the way. So shout out to him. He did a huge revamp on this, and it was pretty awesome. Mm-hmm. So there's changes we've made, but the baby is his. So, but yeah, so objective, overall overview of what we are. Eligibility. So this is like so the yellow is new things that have been added that are not in our current rules. So there's a discussion of probationary members may be considered to play if they are going to be initiated within a week of the starting of the new split, and this must be approved by the commissioner. I think we're going to do this on like a case-to-case basis, to be honest. I think it really depends. Like, I think we would have to 100% know, without a doubt, they will be initiated in order to play.
And again, because it's going to be approved by commissioner, I think there doesn't need to be like a specific way that they'll prove it. They just need to talk to, in this case, Greg, whoever the commissioner is.
I mean, they can just answer the question, and then that's how they'll prove it, right?
Well, but if they're trying to join the league and they're going to be initiated within a week, then they haven't necessarily gone through it yet.
Oh, okay, before. Yeah. Okay, I understand.
And like in worst case scenarios, we can just kick them out. You know?
You need a new top laner.
Your team's 4v5. Sorry, bro.
It was a tier 1. We got a tier 4 top laner ready to roll.
Let's go.
Let's go.
That's Jimmy in the sub. That's in the sub. We're completely revamping subs. You can sub for anyone now. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway. So
I got this guy called Bjergsen.
Yeah. So, yep. That'll be case by case. Communication. This kind of just covers an overall view of communication. So all captains communicate to each other via Slack. So everyone should get on Slack. Slack is an amazing thing.
Slack ain't whack.
False.
Slack is incredible. You can get
Slack
everything there.
Ain't whack.
You can get every VOD that we've had.
Slack is actually pretty nice.
You can pin things. You can get our stream key. You can get in on these chats. It's
amazing.
Wait,
you get a stream key from here? Ooh, I didn't know that.
There's an app
for PMALCS
for your phone and your computer. It's an amazing program.
Slack sponsor.
And the people that have used it already like it. Anyway.
And it also, random side note, it sounds like a panda has fleed into our room.
Hey!
Hello. Oh, and a Will. And
oh
a Brooks is
my gosh. This room went to shit real quick, guys.
Well, how early did you join, Greg?
Yeah, it started very poor.
Wow.
I need to turn them
I told Eric before the stream, I said, originally it was literally just me here for like 10 minutes, and I was going to post a status that said, I guess when you lose in semifinals, you just lose all your friends with a sad face or something. Solo
Oh my
stream.
God.
But then Eric came, and I was happy.
You should rethink how you said that sentence.
All right. Anyway. I'm not going to rethink anything at all. So
Anyway,
everyone should
communication.
use Slack. It's amazing.
Yep.
It's great. So this next part, BB here, this is basically to reassure that scheduling will be as easy as possible. We feel that if you don't have the time to check your phone for 5 minutes a day and read the last 20 messages about scheduling, then you
Or
really don't have the communication skills to be involved. So just being able to check it at least once a day, or just overall covering the communication, making sure all the players are involved.
Yeah, I think that's the only downside I think I have about Slack is that when we had Facebook Messenger, you could see that everyone who had seen it and like scroll through. And Slack, like you just don't know that by looking at it. But that's the only thing.
Well, but the nice thing, and what I will say, from being kind of captain on my team this split, the only time where I really need to worry about who has seen a message is when I am on like talking to my team, and we still use Facebook to communicate, and so I can still see, oh, these people have seen this message, this person hasn't, so now I know who I need to tag to get their attention. So.
Yeah, you get a ton of messages with Slack. That's just kind of how it is.
You said check it for 5 minutes. If you go 5 minutes without checking Slack, there's probably a good chance that 50 messages have been sent.
I wish you were wrong.
We can utilize threads and stuff more if need be.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
There's a lot of messages, but it's good stuff.
Oh yeah, that thread thing's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. Oh yeah, so this is I just want to make
like-
sure anyone that's listening, this is like a meeting as well. So everyone's opinions are welcome. If you want to come join it on the stream Discord, you are welcome. It'll just
No,
be a
it's a
clown
trap.
fiesta. If we have a lot of people here, I think we're gonna like limit each topic to like 5 minutes. Oh, here's Sebastian. Yeah. Speaking of which, what is up, dude?
Speaking of clowns,
Speaking of washed up Jace players,
So.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Jesus Christ!
Is this
Eric,
go over the
you
rules
guys
or just
understand?
meme on everyone's
Hey,
face?
look. It's fine. All right. At least I stayed true to my main instead of going down to another position.
Oh,
and saying
damn.
fuck off, all right.
Damn,
I have
he's
loyalty.
right.
Hey,
all right.
hey,
I have loyalty.
I have MVPs at 4 different roles. Get on my list.
Oh, my E-Bean's huge. Okay, so anyway, going on.
And it's
um,
Garfield juice. Welcome.
So then B, and then subsection I. This is also to just, cover if someone is not communicating well. They can just be subbed out. We give our Discord. People can use whatever voice channel they want as long as it's just let known before the game, just in case we have a disconnect and, we want to find out what's going on. It's getting close to 15 minutes or something. So, yep.
Sean,
Cool.
are you driving again?
No.
Okay, so this is a big change we have coming to substitutes, and I
Sounds like
really like this change a lot. Players who are substitutes will sign up with any number of roles that they feel comfortable filling in at the order of most comfortable. So this basically makes it so that if you're a fill, you have to list exactly every role you want to be eligible to play, and the preference in which you want to play it. And whatever role you pick, you will be available to draft, and if someone has to have a sub, you will be available in those roles accordingly.
I got tired of listening to it. So I muted it.
Yeah, I think I might have to
Yeah,
mute Sean too.
Yeah, I'm meeting you too. Goodbye, Sean.
Sean, quit driving.
Alright, he'll be back later. So,
How will we know he's muted?
so did you guys hear that?
That's
It's a good
him,
rule.
not-
It's a good
not
rule.
Sean.
Yeah, I like that. Because I know, like, if I run the sub list, I feel fine subbing for any role, really. But, like, some people who don't know me won't know that, like, I'm a top main. So I
Right.
can put top first, then jungle, then AD, and so on and so forth.
Right, so subsection D, this just covers the tier system that we have. We're switching to be 1 is the best and 4 is the worst, and then there's still torpedo. So,
Tier
Yeah.
you have to include
I
that.
I personally have a question. And it's
Go.
not a huge deal, obviously, but what prompted this change?
Rob just did it.
Okay, that's
I was like,
fine.
alright,
There's nothing wrong with
whatever.
that. I was just curious.
We're gonna have to mess with
Poor Rob.
our draft max system. Remember how we were gonna have that Hoagie system? We still have to implement that. We haven't done that yet.
Well, it just turns
Then
from being a
just set it
max.
at a low
it just
point.
turns from being a max to a min.
Yeah, and
Like,
it'll
instead of
depend
being
on the
max
people
to
we
min.
have that sign up next split anyway. So, okay.
Sean, at least I can't hear you driving anymore. So
Oh, is he talking again?
he was typing in the Twitch chat.
One should be the best. Can't say.
I'm sorry. Is he texting and driving? Please. Do we have
Yes.
this? Do we have this on camera?
Can I call the Houston?
Do we have this on
Police
camera?
Department?
Here we go. I'm gonna bring this Twitch chat over to this monitor. Oh, PTSM fan. Sick 'em boys. We have hard evidence. Anyway. Yep. So 1 to 4. D outliers in each tier will be addressed and moved according to the vote of captains or moderators, including the commissioner. Basically, if you or anybody else thinks that someone should be a certain tier, we will vote on it.
Which is pretty much how we had been doing it towards the end of this last split anyway.
But now it's all written up.
Yay! Same thing with E, because that's how it also got switched to when we revamped the tier system, where captains automatically placed in tier 1. Only it was tier 4 at that time. So that's how we essentially have been doing it for the last half of split now.
And then D, subsection E. This one's important because if we go with our captains can be anybody, it should be important that the quote-unquote first pick captain should only be able to subbed out by those kind of players. Ideally, the captain differential will not be large enough that it won't matter.
That's a problem.
But obviously, we're gonna have to do a lot of mock drafts and stuff to test it.
I don't think it will be, because I think you'll find 10 people who are like, at least, going off of like last season's like go 2, go 3 or up, to where like if they get subbed out for a plat 4, it's not like that drastic of a change. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, if we hit 30 viewers tonight, I'll give out a mystery skin.
Well, we're at 7.
Get people in here. It's hype, right?
Wait, Sean, why would you be using a VR headset when you're driving? That's even worse.
Opie, you are a god tier. We have
And it's Frank.
a missile now, though. Oh, God. What up, DG Mad Hatter? Oh, excuse me. Panic at the top hat.
I can barely hear that, and I hate you.
Are you in your car, too?
No, it's still Sean.
I've muted Sean, and it still sounded like Frank.
I muted Sean a long time ago. Anyway, E. This is basically just overall how sign up for the league go. 2 weeks we're gonna do. F. If a substitute is used for game number 1, but the starting player becomes available before game number 2, the starting player must be used. We think this is just important because we really want to encourage teams playing as 5, and even if you're in your head you think it's a detriment to your team to have your starting player play, that's kind of what we're not trying to accomplish here. And it's important that you do all for your team. If you win, you win. You lose together. So substitute may only cover a player in the same tier. Any tier lower, it's the same as what we have right now. Team must request all players that meet the tier requirements, of course. And a team may opt to use a substitute of a lower tier than their starting player if they so choose.
All pretty standard, and again, how we've been doing it, just it's inverted again.
If all players in the substitution list are ineligible or unable to play, starter from another team may be used, obviously.
We probably need to rewrite subsection B then.
In what way?
A substitution may only cover a player of the same tier or any tier lower, i.e., tier 2 may sub only for tier 2 or tier 1, tier 3, tier 2 is tier 1. Wait,
What?
never mind.
Okay.
Never mind. I read it backwards.
That's okay.
I'm actually very dyslexic, so I mess things up.
That's okay. there's 100%. I wrote a lot of this. There is like 100% chance there are stupid grammatical mistakes and dumb little like random marks. So feel free to point one out.
All right, where are we?
So we're gonna go down to E now. If a mutual substitute is not agreed upon, the captains must propose their case to the commissioner and the moderators. Moderators will then propose what we think is the best decision to the two captains. If they still have a discrepancy with it, then we will just put a vote in the captain's chat. It just,
Cool.
I don't think we'll have to get to that point, but it allows for all situations necessary. I definitely think that Menbung would be an appropriate sub for the Will Torpedo Brooks.
True.
And likewise.
You trying to make the team worse?
No.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to use
Yeah, he's
Menbug
try-
for sub for Will anyway.
He's trying to make the Spanish torpedoes.
Anyway.
No comment.
Of course.
All right, so this is where we actually have a pretty big change. This is with scheduling. Unless otherwise noted, to the moderators, all matches must be played in the current week of the season. So this is just a proposal right now. This isn't finalized, but I think this is what we're going to try to aim for. The biggest complaint we've had in all three splits is scheduling is an issue. And I think the biggest problem with this last split with scheduling was that we didn't define specifically what free time was. Yeah, I just put in the thing, do you have enough time to participate in the league? But free time is different for everybody. So we decided to try to be a little more specific, but still general enough that it's amount of time. So matches can only be now between Wednesday and Sunday. So 5 days out of the week. And ideally, the matches will be played. I lowered the time a bit, but I guess we don't really need a starting time. But within the time frame of 5 p.m., but that can be earlier. To midnight EST weekdays and 5 p.m. until whenever on weekends, depending on the schedule of brothers. And then subsection 1, matches must be started at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or earlier on weekdays, and on weekends are dependent on player availability.
So this should, like, in the signups now, Greg can actually say, do you have most of these days at this time available? And then if somebody signing up knows that they don't, then they don't sign up, and it alleviates.
By most, would you say 3 out of 5?
I think 3 out of 5 is fair.
Yeah, I
don't
think
know.
3 out of 5 is fair. I think at this point, we'll be able to know the people that will be committed based on 3 splits worth. And, I think the rookie class that joined this split is really good.
Oh gosh, yeah.
And I think
Like
that
Abby,
means it's
very
only going to
much.
get better. Uh-oh, Sean said something that got all his messages deleted.
Oh, he
The-
got
the
timed
co-
out for 600 seconds.
Dude, who did that? Did it automod hit him?
What the hell?
What did he say?
I don't know.
I didn't see it.
Sorry,
You can click on message deleted and it brings up the message.
poor guy. Anyway, so the days are not finalized. This is probably what it's going to be, most likely. We might take a vote at the beginning of the split. I don't know. We'll just ask around. We'll see what's going on with people.
The other thing I like about this is kind of tying in with how the weekly update team was trying to start a weekly thing this split. And as long as teams can hold to this, then that gives essentially Wednesday through Sunday for games to be played. It gives Monday for the team to put together all their stuff, all their lists, all
My
their
God.
predictions, and then it gives Tuesday for them to do the show. Oh, Panda! So that's what that button does.
So can we talk about, for those of you who have muted Sean, I literally just heard him order ice cream in a drive-thru.
Stream cannot hear him, so. Oh my gosh! What did he get?
Better been
I
chocolate.
was too busy laughing at the fact that I heard ice cream being ordered during Eric's explanation. Wait, he's getting an Oreo Blizzard. It's supposed to have hot fudge in it.
Well,
When
he's
you
already
can-
doing it wrong. He needs M&Ms instead.
Oh
Agreed.
my gosh!
He's
So-
being He's being one of those customers and complaining. God.
Oh,
So
You know, I'm somehow not surprised.
I'm scrolling down to F down here now. Is he going off? We're unmuting him.
I don't know if it was him, but I think he told me to shut the fuck up.
Shh.
I'll fucking kill you if you get my shit wrong.
God, Sean.
And last time I had this, it was just all wrong. So don't fuck it up, okay?
Yeah. I'm sure.
Oh my God.
All right, he's getting muted again. Goodbye.
He's about to
man.
rage in this drive-through.
I love Sean so much.
I'm gonna do that one now just so I can listen to this.
All right, back to the rules.
All right, so I'm muting Will now. Goodbye, Will. I'm just kidding, Will. You can't mute the torpedo. It is the responsibility of the captains to make sure that all their players have their client patched before the game, because I know there's going to be someone that's going to be like, oh yeah, I'm just patching, and it's going to be like 10 minutes. So just make sure the normal rules apply.
I like that.
I have a quick question about one of the subsections.
Go ahead.
Would it make sense?
Can you which one? Can you specify?
Well, I'm talking E, so H subsection E.
Uh-huh.
Would it be, just because I know there's been a couple matches this season that have broken past that point of getting like super late in the evening on a weekday,
Uh-huh.
would it be fair to put in there 40 minutes plus, or if it hits the 10:30 on a weekday point?
Well, the
Oh.
timer would start at 10:30.
Well, I mean, if they set their game time for,
I get what, I
matches
get what
would
you're
have
saying.
to start before 10:30. So if they're supposed to start at 10:15 and they're 40 minutes late, then that's already almost 11 o'clock that
Yeah.
they're starting.
I see the point where you're saying. I think what it is for me is you also have to think about people that are not on East Coast, so that's pretty early in the night as well. But it's more of a fail-safe situation. Like if you're scheduling a match for 10:30, you have to be on the assumption that they're gonna be there. And if someone is gonna be that late, it's gonna be a very rare occasion that it happens. But to allow, there's been times where someone has been a little bit late, because of like an emergency situation or something like that. We feel that 11 p.m. is late enough that Eastern Standard Time can still get away with it in an emergency situation, but not detrimental enough that it matters to West Coast. Like it's not going to be too early.
Okay, that makes sense to me.
And I mean, if they're that late anyway, they're gonna lose bans. They may potentially forfeit. So it's not like your team. It's not like the team that's there isn't gonna get some sort of like. I don't want to say. I don't know what the word I'm looking for is. It's not like that team's not gonna get rewarded. Isn't the right word, but you know what I mean. It's like they're gonna get.
I
don't know.
think it's important that we go that we just reiterate communication. I think that's really the key. Like if
Yeah.
players are just open with their schedule, like if I'm gonna be late or not, then it shouldn't be a problem. But if it does end up becoming a problem, we can mess with it and change it accordingly. All right. So down to I, matches. This just specifies when the chats are going to be created, so it's a more specific guideline. So what we've been doing this past split is they were created on Wednesdays prior to the match, and then if nothing is scheduled by the Wednesday after, I'll choose a time, and if there's a discrepancy, we can vote on it, but I don't foresee it being a thing with our specific time schedules.
That's pretty much what we've been doing, and I think there were only like 2 times where you had to step in and schedule it, and both times it wound up working fine. So. And
then 4 just specifies what I just said in there. I'm going to change that to yellow because I think that's just normal. Cool. So then this down here to 1 and 2 and all these subsections, this basically just specifies what happens if the commissioner's decision is debated, like they don't think it's sufficient, then it'll just go to the mods and stuff like that. So that's what just this all covers. Basic
You
stuff.
can save a lot of space by just putting "get over it." you
Yeah,
know?
for real.
Get good, scrub.
Got him.
Subsection X.
Oh,
Look at the
man.
D.
I'm glad you're
No,
here, Garrett.
it'd be subsection XD. Come on.
Password. I don't think there should ever be a password because I personally love when random people join the lobby. It's like a highlight for me. I think it's hilarious. But if you want to add a password, you can, I suppose.
I just type a bunch of random stuff.
Wow. You know when you do
Yeah,
that, you
for
don't
sure.
allow people to spectate, though, or to talk in lobby chat? When you set a
That's not
password,
true.
that's what prevents lobby chat for people. I found
We
that
all
out the other
know
day.
that Will just sets his password to "Will has a big penis." We know that's what he does.
Wouldn't it be?
No,
wouldn't it be
it's,
Will
I
has
thought
a-
it was-
Do we
actually
all lie for our passwords?
Sean.
Will's still laughing about Sean and all of us.
Well, Sean is actually paying attention now and not ordering ice cream. So,
Does he have car sounds still?
he is still driving.
No.
All right.
Well, then
Well,
you're still
Sean,
muted.
can you hear me?
Okay, first off,
Sucks.
All right, here we go. Here we go.
can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good now. You're good.
Okay, so real quick, I didn't know I was on Discord. I thought I was listening to the stream. So I come back and I read chat, and like Will's like narrating what I had in chat, and I was like, how the fuck is he? Oh. So, and hashtag people at Dairy Queen freaking suck. Okay, let's go
Oh
on.
my god.
And that's why you're banned.
Oh my gosh.
Panda, it's an exclamation point unban at the person.
I didn't ban you. I just timed you out
Still, why?
because you're driving.
I think that's a fair. I think that's a very fair.
Yeah, man. God forbid that I should use my own transportation to get home.
Boy,
All right. Let's stay on topic here. Enough of the ice cream. So captains must inform their opposing captain of their role swaps at least 3 hours prior to the lobby being formed. Just gives enough time to prep.
Point of clarification: can a team then not switch in the middle of a match?
No, they can
Like
switch in.
between
They
game
can
one
switch in
and
the
game
next
two?
match if they just inform them beforehand. We can add that in.
So, real quick though, if for some reason it's not 3 hours before, is there like a penalty?
Yeah, it would be a loss of a ban. I'll add that.
So should we specify that?
Yeah,
There.
I'm gonna do that.
Yes.
Now,
I'll edit as it goes. Greg, just keep typing.
All right.
I mean, the only thing I can see is like I think recently we had something like that with the G5 versus War thing, to where like people like they could have been substitutes, or there could have been like role swaps to accommodate a substitute, but it was with before 3 hours. So in extenuating circumstances like that, how do we deal with those, or do we just go by the law?
Yeah, I think it for like probably gonna be a lot of cases like this where we need to be more specific, but I think it's usually just gonna be a loss of ban, and it will carry over, no matter what.
Okay, so C-Van's team starts with a loss of ban next split. Got it.
Damn.
Holy moly!
Rip C-Van.
Anyway,
We didn't do that.
F is pretty
No, I just
obvious. So G, this is what I want to discuss. Champion select will first be done with all participants using the website ProDraft. Once the captains blah blah blah. If captains don't want to use that, they can use the spreadsheet. So my personal opinion, after thinking about it more and more and more, I think it would be more beneficial to just use the spreadsheet and go to 45 seconds. I think
I hate
it's.
ProDraft, so I'm on board.
I think I would like ProDraft if it wasn't 30 seconds. I think it's just too quick for our league, and I think it's just easier to have the fail-safe spreadsheet. You can't really mess
I
up.
agree.
I agree as well.
I'm thinking about even just getting
I
rid
have
of
no idea
ProDraft
what's going on.
completely.
I'm on board.
All right, I'm gonna do that then.
And then we
So-
can delete section part 2 if website does not work. Players must use a sticky spreadsheet. I'll just get rid of that.
Why don't we just say players must use the sticky spreadsheet?
Well, because we're already saying that on point G.
Oh,
I need to put it in. Someone remind me, or someone on Slack right now, take the champion select from Captain's chat and put it in general chat as a pin.
Alright, hang on, let me find it.
In the hashtag of general
Is it?
chat.
It's pinned in the captain's chat, right?
Yep.
Yep, there it is. So wait, what am I doing? I am.
And I think 45 seconds is good.
You said to put it in the general chat.
Yes. I don't know if this is added, but this will be monitored by one of the casters.
I also pinned it, Greg.
2, thank you. Cool. So let's just keep going. We added this in today, actually. Once the drafting portion begins in the client, players will be required to have the champ they are playing in a match with at least 20 seconds left on the timer.
I like it.
I have to add left. And if Dilda's a ban, I added the specification on this one. I'm going to change that to yellow.
I think that's like verbatim how they do it in LCS. So that makes sense.
That's what Will was saying earlier when he suggested it. After matches, this just specifies specifically. Wait. Did we discuss the point system yet? Is that later on?
That's later on.
We haven't discussed that.
Oh baby. Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
this stuff's the easy stuff.
You're right. We're just rolling. So this just specifies. Oh wait. So do we want to change this at all? No. So this is just an overview of what happens after the game for MVPs. Maybe not necessarily rules, but just like guidelines. Doesn't hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here we go.
Here we go.
Okay, so really it's really not that big if we just say it like this. The only change we're doing for next split is instead of getting a 2-0 victory and getting 3 points, you just strictly go off of your win-loss. So it's just gonna be straight off of your record. There's no points.
Mm-hmm.
And everything else is the same.
Do we want to give people context to what that would have meant for this last split?
I can. So this last split, what that would have meant is BGM still would have been the first seed, and then we still would have had that wacky 3-way tie between HVG, Pooh, and War. And by the new, what we have in here, our new rules, whatever, HVG would still get the third seed because we still would do the head-to-head first, and then we went to the one-game playoff, which was.
Wait. Did you say HVG would get the third seed or the second?
I meant second seed. Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
And then it would have gone to the one-game playoff, which we did as like 3 like 1v1s. It was weird. Essentially, yeah, that's just saying. I don't remember, but you get the point so far. If no tiebreak can be determined from that. Wait, we don't, Greg.
What?
Standings, so L, point C, then point 2, then point 3.
Uh-huh.
If no tiebreaker can be determined, team with a higher number of 2. Oh, I get it now. Never
That's
mind.
for a 3-way tie.
So in a 3-way tie, if like the tiebreak, if like the head-to-head record between all 3 teams is 3-3, like they all 1-1 to each other, then it goes to highest number of 2-0 victories. And if that's still the same, then it just goes to the fastest average win time to determine the top seed, and then it goes to the 2-team tiebreaker from there.
Yeah.
And at 4 teams are up, it's all essentially the same, if I remember right.
Yeah.
This is pretty similar to how the actual LCS does it.
Yeah.
The only difference is like they have a game score system that Sean said.
I think we need to re-edit the point about if 4 teams are tied, because it still goes to the highest full match victories first.
Also, subsection B, it says teams will be listed in the order of highest points to lowest points since we're no longer doing points. That needs to be struck.
Okay.
I'll fix that real quick.
Okay.
Go ahead and work on the point 3.
So what am I changing about in this one then? Oh, I guess I could add tiebreakers would be determined by the overall head-to-head matchup within the 4 teams.
Yes.
Okay. And the rest makes sense.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
All right. I made that edit, so you just have to accept that.
Yeah, it was pretty
Oh, and it was the whole reason we started talking about like what it means.
Mhm.
If we would have been on this for this past split, the real kicker, the real difference would have been 5th and 6th place would have had this massive like 4-way tie between Rip, Gerg5, BAT, and Give Me That Ace. And I don't remember
So
exactly
I
how
actually
it would
know
have
what
went.
it is. I know what it is. It was, interestingly enough, Rip would actually be bumped all the way down to 8th, and then you'd have
Rip.
a playoff for 6th place with GDA and Big Anime Titties for 6th place. They
While
have to do a
Gerg5 took
one-game
5th
playoff,
place.
and Gerg5 cleanly gets 5th
So
based
it
on
would have
head-to-head record.
switched some things around in this split. The whole reason
Yours.
and this
Wait a second. I did one and it was not those results. So we'll have to discuss that after this.
Wait,
One of us made a
Let's talk
mistake.
talk about it right now. See how the differences came to about.
Ugh, I don't
Yeah,
know where I put it. I can go look. I don't know if I
Is what
saved
I
it.
had.
Let's see.
go ahead and go look while I explain at least
Okay. Oh, well, I have to do
the,
it on my other
why
computer right
why
here.
we're doing this, because this was something one day that I kind of
Oops.
said, why don't we do this? And I was looking at it and I started thinking about it, and it just made sense to me because it doesn't make sense that a team could have a worse win-loss record, which shows that against the entire field of the PMALCS, they were worse than a team who maybe has a better record, and that team could still potentially get a higher seed or like force a tiebreaker for that seed or whatever. It just seemed a little off to me.
Use the example, Eric.
Well, the example was in season 2, 9-inch torpedoes had, I believe 9-inch torpedoes and Cash's Shoe Shop both had 13 points. 9-inch torpedoes was 9 and 7, I think they were. It was either 9 and 7 or 9 and 5. It was 9 and 7, and then Cash's Shoe Shop was 10 and 6. And because of the way the tiebreaker went, 9-inch torpedoes wound up taking the 3rd seed over Cash's Shoe Shop. They just played a 1-game tiebreak. We didn't have great tiebreak rules in season 2 because that was really the first time that had happened. So
Yeah.
essentially I was telling myself it doesn't make sense. Well, what can we do to potentially change it? This was an idea I came up with. It makes everything a lot less complicated because it's so complicated keeping track of not only game record but match record and points. And then you're looking at 17 different things, and you've got 17 different ways you can break a tie because you start with points, then you go to match record, then you can go to head record, then you can go to overall game record. And there's just so many things when you're doing just a straight win-loss record. The tie break becomes head-to-head, and then a 1-game playoff. If it's a 2-team tie break, which makes it so much simpler. I think it's a lot more streamlined that way. So.
Yeah. Cool. I have no idea where it is. It was in Slack chat so long ago. Probably like 5,000 messages back.
I was going to say, that is then gone.
It is long gone. But I will just try to do it again or take your word for it. It doesn't really matter either way. We've
Okay,
already
well,
switched
here's
to
what
the
I came up-
system.
Here's why I came up with that. Gerg 5 ended up having more 2-0 wins over the others, and if I'm not mistaken, that is the first tiebreaker. Tiebreakers head-to-head records between the teams.
Okay, I already see what the difference was because that was in there, but that was we never actually changed that when Greg and I first went in and made this edit. The first tiebreaker is the overall head-to-head with all 4 teams.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They had the better head-to-head record of all 4 teams.
You said that they had more 2-0s.
Yeah, that's what you said.
They do.
No, like 2-0 against each other.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They went
Okay.
2-0 draw, right? And then Big Anime Titties went 2-0 lost draw.
So it was 4 wins for Gerg 5, 3 wins for Big Anime, And I'm guessing 3 wins for Give Me That Ace, and then what, 1
Because
win?
they went draw, 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 and then yeah, it's lost, draw, draw.
So
or
2
something
wins
like
for
that.
Rip. Okay.
And that's how I came up with G5, big anime titties, GDA, and then Rip.
Wait, no, hold on,
Still done
Panda.
the playoff.
Wait, Panda. So that just secures G5, and then what we do?
Yeah, is go to the
and
3-team tiebreaker.
Three tiebreaker between all 3 of them.
So then it would just be big anime titties then clean, right? Because they have the head-to-head record at that point.
So then
Oh, wait.
Big Anime Titties would be 6th, and then we do a head-to-head tiebreaker between GDA and RIP.
For 7th place, which
For 7th place, which doesn't matter.
Whoa,
For
whoa.
Wait, 7th.
All right.
Hang out.
Wait, 7th
Hey,
place means
whoa.
you don't get relegation.
Exactly. We're not franchised yet. We need this.
Oh my God.
Relegation, all right. If you're out there and you want to form a team to challenge, there you go.
Gonna be some SAI girls gonna kick our butt.
Then
Dude,
we
I'd
would
be
have
down- I'd be down for
had
that.
Anyway, going.
Sorry.
a 7th place tiebreaker because we got 1-1.
Oh,
Yeah.
we'll need it. All right, going down to section M, Twitch stream now. This is actually something I want to talk about. Well, we just specify our stream and stuff like that. What channels we can use. Blah 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 blah. So this section right here, no players are allowed to have Twitch chat/stream open. I don't think we need 4th offenses. I think we could just have a 3rd offense and say you're banned. If you don't get it after the 3rd fucking time, that's like using steroids 3 times in the MLB. You're just a fucking
times.
idiot. You're
I
Brian
think,
Cushing.
oh Christ.
3 strikes.
I think at that point
You're
then
out.
put. I think at that point then put the one-on-one with Kamish into the 2nd offense.
Okay,
I think
I'll
that's
do
still a
that.
good thing to do. But yeah, I kind of agree. A 4th offense when we're saying literally don't do this.
Hey,
stop
3
doing
strikes
this.
and you're out.
Hey, don't do this.
Baseball.
I'll do this. I'll change it to 1 ban as the 2nd one. And I'll do the talk.
Oh my god, ice cream.
Cool.
is
I like
good.
it.
Yeah, if you don't get it at that point, oh no, I fucked it up.
Rip.
Rip. Woo.
Okay, there we go.
I know there was talk at one point, and I think we did it, about having to say what your Twitch name is. Do we maybe want to have that on the sign up then at that point, so like mods or casters can look at the viewer list and see who was in there?
Nah. I think we
Okay,
could just
I
use the honor system.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
Don't
Well,
be a dick.
Well, I mean,
If
I agree with the honor system in general. I just think that most of the time, with what we've been doing with these rules is trying to avoid the honor system. That's my only 2 cents there.
I don't think it's worth the hassle of collecting every single member's Twitch account in order to do so.
Wait, are you no longer driving?
No, I'm not driving.
He's eating his
He's
ice
eating
cream.
ice cream.
Yeah. Subsection C, you can get rid of the sentence about pro drafts because we took that out. This
Oh,
includes
yeah.
games that use the spreadsheet and not pro drafts.
Yeah,
What
pro
is that under? Oh, I see. Okay.
Subsection C.
Sub C section.
That sounds like it would hurt.
It probably wouldn't, since it's a sub one. It'd be underwater.
What?
All right. Moving on to playoffs.
Looks like it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's
So-
go.
So, if I remember right, there was something we wanted to do about who picks sides. Is that correct?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I have a big change I'd like to propose. I have a huge change I'd like to propose.
Wait,
I
have
actually
we
have
not
a feeling
talked
I know
about
what
that?
it is.
What?
Have we not talked
This
about
has
it
not been
previously?
discussed. No.
Oh my
maybe,
god.
maybe only a little
Wow.
bit. This is some fresh
I
news,
have
but this
an
is
actual
huge.
Guess what this is.
I think it would be dope as heck as if we had a gauntlet of the for the 6th place spot of teams 10, 9, 8, 7, and 6, and it's just BO1s up gauntlet style like they do in the LCS. We could even do it for the last 2 spots.
You mean LCK?
Oh, didn't LCS used to do that?
No.
They only
did
do
that-
it for
they did
world
that for-
qualification.
yes.
Well, that
And
I want to
and
do world's
relegations.
qualifications, but for our playoff spots. I think that would
That
be
could be-
really fun.
I think just for the 6th spot, I think a gauntlet for 2 spots is weird because the whole idea of a gauntlet is one team's left standing.
Yeah.
So do
The
we?
only
So we do 7, 8, 9, and 10 in it. Oh no, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's
yeah.
5 teams then. So that would
It was-
mean
Well,
So seventh
say-
place matters,
I'd
boys
say-
and girls.
I'd say just 6, 7, and 8 because
yeah,
that's 3.
I think that's fair.
If you do all spots, it's 5 games, and that can be a little tricky to schedule, and then you're not looking at
So you probably
playoffs for
extend
3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
say
what?
6 through 8.
While it sounds cool, though, I'm actually not really like. Does that mean we finish the playoffs that way too? Like that the entire playoffs is a gauntlet
No, just
No.
that one seed,
to decide who's what.
and then
I'm sorry.
and then they get the last seed, the 6th seed in the actual playoffs.
I like that a lot, actually.
It's like a wild
Wait.
card.
So wait,
I
why?
thought the
Yeah, I'm confused because like, wouldn't we know who 6th seed is already?
It would
Yes.
make it so that getting 6th seed is not a guaranteed spot, and you'd still have to fight for it, even if you get it in the seeding. Just because it's the last place spot.
it basically
Boo!
ensures that a team like Slapnut Magoo's would
I
have
mean,
a
it's
chance
it's
at
similar
the
to other
playoffs.
sports that have a wild card system. It's the exact same way.
Well, the only difference is
To
that
the
like,
point.
yeah, but essentially it is, but it not really because like the 5th and 6th seeds already play the 3 and 4 seeds, which are technically like our wild card round going into the conference championships into the Super Bowl.
True, I agree with that.
Right
That's a
now,
good
you're
point.
comparing football and baseball, though, which have very different playoffs.
Those are
No.
actually
No, I agree with him. He's right because you don't have a bye in the first round of the playoffs in baseball. You have to have the wild card game. That's why they came out with it. He's
Yeah,
right.
that's why
I agree
that's
with
why
him.
you have to have it. So like if we're gonna keep the bye, that's fine. But if we don't keep the bye, then we either have to either add 2 more teams probably because it has to like be equal.
It wouldn't keep the bye, or it would keep the bye. What Greg's proposing is teams 1 through 5 all make it, and then teams like
Right.
6 through 8 or 6 through whatever fight
Eh.
for the 6th spot, and then
Here-
whoever gets that spot, it's just the same setup as before. Just that team's out of 6 seed.
But why would we do it that way when they've already like decided who the 6th spot is through the regular season? That's the way we've done everybody
Eric,
else.
what-
Why is this 6th?
What Sean is saying is like in football, the 1 and 2 seeds have a first round or a bye in the first round of the playoffs, but in baseball they don't. So in baseball, to make up for it, they have a wild card game so that the teams aren't guaranteed in. In ours, they would have to do a wild card game and then have to go through a bye in order to even get like into our actual playoffs, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
When they
and
could
also
have just
just-
been the 6th seed all along and then still had to play that first match, the wild card
Yeah.
match, essentially.
I guess
Yeah,
I see what
because-
you're saying, but I just don't see that being as much of a problem. I don't think it's.
Well, I just think that our system matches more like the LCS matches more of NFL playoffs because we use buys.
I definitely don't discount that our system is basically a single conference football playoff.
Yeah, exactly. We're all like AFC or NFC. We'll be NFC because Eagles won. Go Eagles! Fuck the Patriots.
Nah, we're
Uh,
AFC because go Browns.
My other
I think you just lost
um,
all credibility right there.
yeah, go Browns.
my other proposal was we carry over like we have teams sign up for 2 splits and we do it just like LCS style. And we have a world championship at the very end of the 2 splits. But then I was like, nah, it's way too much work, and that would suck.
That'd be
Actually,
awesome if we could actually
I'd like that.
it would be awesome if we could do that because then that means like maybe I guess like the top 3
No.
teams each split would stay.
Here's what you got to do. Here's what you do. It's you keep your 2 teams, and we decide what 3 teams we're sending to the Worlds, and then we team up with like 4 or 5 different other amateur leagues,
Yeah.
And they
I actually
send
had
a
a
few
proposal for that for the league.
and they
for
send
later.
a few teams, and it's a fun event.
All right, but
You
anyway,
ready?
That's a lot.
You ready,
of work.
Sigma Nu? We're coming for you. We just kicked their butts.
what do we want to change in playoffs?
Oh, side
side
selection.
choice.
Sides.
It looks like it's already changed.
It says semi. Oh,
Oh wait, it doesn't specify.
but what happens to losers? Because that's the one we've been going off. If I remember right, what we've been using is that the losing team gets to decide the next game. Are we going to stick with that, or are we just going to say a forced swap?
No, so
I
it's,
think LCS does swapping. I personally like losers. I don't know.
LCS does this. LCS has like the higher seed has side choice for the
yeah, but then it
odd
swaps
games,
after that.
That's
And then lower seed gets.
and then
sidetracked.
lower seed has choice. So they could stay on the same side if they want to.
Well, that's just how like in GERG 5, like we chose right side.
Yeah, so it just alternates.
Yeah, it alternates who has the choice, but it doesn't mean you have to alternate sides.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's the point of clarification I'm wanting to make here.
Yeah.
Because I think there's been a bit of confusion on why teams are, like always on this side or always on.
Like
you know what I
last
mean?
night.
Well,
Yes.
I personally like the loser
The
gets
loser.
it then.
Yeah, well, I mean, you put it this way because like it does allow for, I guess, like when the loser gets it, they're obviously the team that probably has more to adapt because they're the ones going in that need to change their strategy. But at the same time, like if you know going into a series, like let's say last night, like since y'all still would have been able to choose because it was, oh, actually it would have been us choosing game 2. If we would have probably stayed on the same side because the pick band stayed the same. So it's a little bit different. If you want to mimic LCS, that's the way you do it. If you want to do losers choose the side, then that's fine too, I guess.
I don't think it makes too big of a difference because ultimately it still means that in order
We're doing
to
losers. Let's go.
in order to win a series, at the bare minimum, you have to win on not having side selection at least once, potentially twice. Because like when we played Gerg 5, if we would have lost game 2, Gerg 5 would have won that set without having side selection either game.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I think that's the good point is that at least both teams have had a choice to be on what side they want.
And the only thing I will say that brings light to making it be alternating is it guarantees that both teams get to choose a side.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it's ultimately that big of an issue. I think we can make it work either way.
Yeah, I do like the like where it's like, I like the idea more and so now that I think about it about like alternating sides because like because right now game 1 goes to there's no loser, you just give it to the higher seed. So why not just continue that thought process for the rest of the series?
So game 2 would then go to the lower seed, and then game 3, if it comes to that, then goes back to the.
And then when
seed.
you're in finals, it's the same thing. It's higher seed, lower seed, higher seed, lower seed, higher seed. So I think if we're gonna start with that, because we don't do a coin flip, do we?
No.
Not in playoffs. No.
Not in playoffs. So you might as well just do it by seeding, because still you're giving the higher seed the advantage for side choices, but you're not necessarily saying which side each team will be on. But as long as you give them a choice, each team a choice, it's equal footing, I feel.
So I think Sean's pushing for alternating while Greg's pushing for losers.
I don't mind either way. I think that's a fair enough argument to change it to that.
Do we want to take a little mock vote among us?
I think both are fair, to be honest.
All right. You want to just flip a coin?
Wait, hold on. The Gerg special.
Come on, let's do it. Ooh.
No.
I think your rule is fine. I think that's. Okay. I just thought loser just because it just gives more of an incentive or a possible advantage for your team to come back. Whereas if the team wins game number 1 and then they also get side choice for game number 2, that's a pretty big advantage.
But the only thing is that would have to be the lower seed taking a game off the higher seed.
Exactly.
And I think that's the price you pay to lose on the game where you get side selection. If you can't win when you get side selection, you shouldn't get the inside.
You're fucking horrible. Who does that? Oh my god.
Fucking Greg.
What fucking trash players would ever do that?
I think I believe both of us did that last night.
Wait. So did War. We lost on each other's red side.
We're all bad. Anyway.
Yeah. Hashtag amateur LCS.
So yeah. So keep going. Finals, semifinals. Oh wait. Do we want to add the option in for people to do a best of 3 finals? I think we should. Oh what? Go ahead.
Oh what?
You never changed the wording.
I got you, dude.
But wait, what are you? A best of 3? What, Greg?
Finals instead of best of 5.
So just give them the option; they can choose.
Yes.
But then how can we hear our dank silver scrapes?
I think best of 5 is such a long period of time.
Be woo whoop. Be woo whoop. Yeah.
That stream was a meme.
Well, what channel in Discord are we? Meeting rooms for memes.
Oh, here we go.
Let's go.
Oh
No.
man, I messed this up, Greg. Okay,
Wow.
All right, well, hurry up
Still
and fix
needs
it.
this change.
I'll change it, and then you can just accept it later.
All right. Anyway, prize pool. Yada yada yada.
Yada yada.
Yada
Don't
yada.
care about that.
Uh-huh.
Sportsmanship. Do we need to go over that?
Yes.
All right. Her girlfriend gave me a brownie, so I'm gonna finish it really quickly.
By the way,
Such
so
a
like,
you.
I want to use this as an example. Last night, Greg asked if we could be him in the final match. Rich just muted themselves, like from all chat, and then and that's why I said that BMing was allowed for chat only.
I don't blame them. I would mute myself. I would mute all chat if I was on the enemy team.
By the way,
100%.
By the way, I want to go over this. This is something I want to talk to you earlier about, Eric, but we need to see chat on the Spectate client because they never caught any of the times that Greg and I said at the beginning of every match, hey, Eric, fuck you.
Oh, no! Damn it. Every game I said it!
We don't.
So
I don't-
that's actually something for
I-
Opie, because Opie's the
the-
one who's streamed.
If you're still here, Opie, you're no longer top tier.
In the interest of professionalism, I don't think that is necessarily something we should prioritize.
I think in the order of memeness and 5U Alpha awesomeness, we should 100% prioritize it. Because who watches anyway? It's only us.
Memes become dreams.
I'm just going to tell you that the P in Phi Mu Alpha does not stand for professional. I'm just going to let you know that right now.
Professional Mu Alpha.
It stands for panda.
Panda memes accessories.
Yeah, there we go.
Wait,
I like it.
it's because he has a panda hat. I get it.
Alright, so sportsmanship. Yeah, this just covers BM and stuff like that. Cheating, verbal abuse, malicious intent to hurt, reputation. This is just like, being rude to other people, basically.
So
The becoming of a symphonian.
Don't be a dick.
Yep.
D-bad.
Don't be an Eric.
D-bay?
So if you feel someone has, oh wait, is this it? Yeah, this is it. So if you
This is
feel
it.
someone has violated that rule, you just have to provide proof and then explain your story if you're on Discord or whatever, and we'll talk it out. Did I not highlight anything yellow in here?
May I put something in here?
Did you fix? Is your change? Can I approve it?
I changed it. Yeah, if you like the wording, I did.
Side
What do you
selection
want-
will alternate
What do you
in
want
the
to
higher
suggest,
seed.
Eric?
I'll wait for Greg to finish with what he's doing.
Oh, that's okay.
Sure, that's fine.
God damn it, Panda.
Any other suggestions?
I have something, and it's on this. If you feel someone in the league has violated these rules, you may submit your case. Da, 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 da,
Yeah.
da. May I
What section?
just speak Q and then D?
Okay.
Just because, and I know you and I have talked about this, but it happened to me. If somebody like brings up a complaint with you, can we put a message in there that like the mod team or the commissioner, whoever, will contact that person prior to
Oh yeah, for sure.
something? And obviously, you don't have to like say like who did it or any of that, but just like let the person know that somebody's.
There has been a complaint about you brought up, and
That way, that person has a chance to like defend their
Rebuttal?
case. Yes,
or plead the fifth or whatever.
exactly.
Though I'll tell you this: if you plead the fifth in this place, you're guilty. All right.
I mean,
Panda, I'm rejecting your panda rules, and I'm turning off suggestions. No, I'm not turning off suggestions. Anyway, does anyone have anything else? I think I'm just gonna change this to our official rules.
Do we feel the need to vote on these as a collective? As like
Yeah,
a-
we'll allow a couple days.
Okay.
Garrett would like to add a header. What is the header you're adding, Garrett?
What? My phone might be screwing up.
Well, we're
I
gonna
don't
do
have a
that
header
though. We're
for
gonna
you.
do this. We're gonna take this and we're gonna put it up here. Ugh, my cat has such sharp claws. Anyway, thank you all for tuning in. Have a good night. We have a match Sunday at 8:30.
Yes.
So come
Yeah.
tune in. Eastern Standard Time, the only time that really matters. So come tune in. All right, bye.
War versus